Well, Hanan Salah, a researcher with Human Rights Watch, joins us by telephone from Kenya. Hello, Hanan. Glad to have you on TVC News Hour.
Thank you.
Well,
Good morning.
families of the deceased are rather angry. For them, the Egyptian authorities didn't act fast enough to save those in captivity. What could the authorities have done differently?
I think what we have seen unraveling in Libya just 2 days ago really shows new and extreme levels of depravity of this group calling itself the Islamic State. What we know, of course, is that from the onset, the families of these victims, of at least 20 Egyptians, we know of 21 victims in total, and at least 20 of them are Egyptian. We know that the families of these Egyptian Copts that are living in very impoverished areas in Egypt, tried to get support from the government and tried to get information from their government from the onset. We are, horrified to know that did not happen. But the real horror of what happened is that this group of 21 were killed solely because they are Christians, solely because of their religion. They were not killed for any reasons of revenge or for any reasons of a cause. They were killed solely on the basis of their religion.
Now, how much of a strategy is the airstrikes by Egypt in Libya? Is that really the solution?
The Egyptian government, according to their own statements, have started to launch airstrikes against such targets. That being said, to put it into context, there is an ongoing civil war in Libya. There are ongoing armed conflicts in Libya, including airstrikes by the Libyan Air Force. The Libyan Air Force is saying, at least the Libyan Air Force that is loyal to one of the two governments in Libya, is saying that they are targeting extremists. In that case, and the important thing for us, for Human Rights Watch, is that they spare civilians. Whatever action they decide to take, they must take all care to spare civilians. We have received unconfirmed information of civilian casualties in Libya after the airstrikes. We have even published the names of 6 such civilians that were allegedly killed during the airstrikes, and we are calling on the Egyptian and the Libyan government to conduct an urgent investigation into these killings. And we urge them, of course, we urge all sides that are using any sort of military action to spare civilian lives.
Well, Hanan, how far-reaching an effort do you suppose this will have on ISIL and its machinery in Libya and probably beyond Libya?
I think the worrying thing, and this is where our organization, Human Rights Watch, has been calling on the international community to act fast in Libya. The hollow threats of the United Nations and other international actors are simply not working. We know of the presence of extremist groups, especially the groups affiliated with the extremists, a group calling itself the Islamic State, ISIS, Daesh, ISIL, whatever you want to call them. They have claimed that they are present in Libya since November 2014, and we have documented very, very brutal crimes committed by these groups, particularly in one town called Derna. We have documented several public executions, several public extrajudicial executions by shooting mostly. We have also documented several cases of public floggings. This all started basically last summer, and until now, we have not seen any action by the international community.
Now, ISIS seems to be taking advantage of the political vacuum in Libya, Syria, and of course Iraq to gain more territory. Now, how important is the need for a political agreement to be reached between these countries in order to team up against ISIS?
The only way I think that there can be a solution and there can be any kind of an attempt to end the vicious atrocities that are being committed by these groups is for stability in the region, and particularly in the case of Libya. Libya is embroiled in several armed conflicts since last summer. As you rightly said, there is a political vacuum, but there is also a security vacuum. Meaning that the country is fragmented. There are several warlords that are basically running the country and that are basically, imposing themselves on the country. As long as the political, the security issues in Libya are not solved, groups like ISIS and others, there are other, major groups like Ansar al-Sharia who are active in Libya, will be able to spread and will be able to gain a foothold. And Libya is on the doorstep of Europe. Let's not forget that.
Well, thank you very much, Hanan Salah, there, researcher with Human Rights Watch, talking about, of course, the beheading of the 21